Welcome to Tech Corner at ESP Guitars. My name is Todd Binder, VP of Product Development. Today I'm going to show you how to restring an ESP guitar equipped with a Floyd Rose double locking bridge system. This type of bridge allows you to lock the string in two places, at the bridge and at the locking nut. Allowing the string to be locked in two places will ensure more tuning stability compared to a guitar that does not have locked strings. Here are the tools you're going to need. A 3mm Allen wrench. This is the one that comes with your guitar. This is another type that I like. This is a 3mm Allen driver. A pair of string cutters, a string winder, and some type of a block. These will go under the Floyd bridge to hold it in place while we remove the strings. And I have a soft cloth and some lemon oil. You would need this only if you have a rosewood or ebony fingerboard. Okay, so just to summarize, when you're setting up your guitar with a Floyd Rose bridge, there's an order to the various steps in setting up the instrument, and you want to do them in a particular order so everything goes a lot smoother and you end up making less adjustments in the long run. Let's get started. First, we need to remove the old strings. I have a small wooden block, basically the size of this area, and it goes right under the bridge like that, and it's just there to hold the bridge in place. Now we're ready to cut the strings. To do this, we want to unlock the clamps at the nut using our 3mm Allen wrench. After we do that, let's loosen the string tension slightly, just so the strings being slightly loose won't fly off so quickly when we cut them. Now we're ready to cut the strings. I'll just hold them down on the neck and I'll cut them here between the pickups. I'm going to use the 3mm Allen wrench here, and I'm just going to loosen the lockdown screw here that holds the string in the saddle in front of the string block. Loosen it slightly, just enough to pull the string out. And I'll do that for all of these. When you're doing this, be careful. If you loosen it a little too much, then this little block, the string lock block, may fall out of the saddle. That's not a problem. You just need to put it back in before you restring it. Okay, all the strings are gone from the bridge. Now we need to remove them at the headstock as well. So just take them off the tuning key posts, unwind them, and pull them through the back side of the nut. Now, so I don't have strings everywhere, I'm going to wrap them up and I'll throw those out. Okay, we've got the strings off. We're ready to put new strings on. This would be the proper time to clean your fingerboard. In this case, we have a maple fingerboard, so I could just take a dry, soft cloth and clean off anything on the fingerboard that you want to clean up. If you happen to have a rosewood fingerboard or an ebony fingerboard, you might want to use a little lemon oil on a soft cloth and rub that into the fingerboard, helping it not dry up and cleaning it up slightly. Okay, this is ready to go. Time to restring it. Let's take our set of strings. I've got a 9-42 gauge set of D'Addarios here, which is what we use on all of our LTD guitars. Now I like to take these all out at once, and I'll figure out which one is which in a second. On the Floyd Rose guitar, on the Floyd Rose bridge that is, you don't need the ball end of the string. So what we'll do is we'll cut all these off using our string cutters. Just get all these loosened up and put them together, and we'll put these all in line here and we'll cut them all off. Now that we've got them cut, we're just going to insert each string. I'm going to start with the low E string, and I'm going to take my 3mm Allen wrench, loosen this slightly and make sure there's enough gap just to push the string in right in front of the string lock block. Now when you tighten these, you don't need to go overboard. You just need to go snug, a little bit past snug, and that's good enough to hold the string in. And I'm just feeling the thickness of the strings as I'm putting them in order. Thickest on the bottom, obviously, to the thinnest on the top string. Now we're ready to string them through, and I'll start here from the low E up to the high E. And I'm just going to feed this through under the string locking clamp and through the tuning machine. Now I like to have a little bit of slack. I'll pull this back and give it a little slack just so I can have a few winds around the tuning key post, about 1.5 inches or 1 inch. Probably good enough. So pull it back, then I'll wind this around the string post, and then we'll tighten this up until the string is tight. And we'll do that for all of the strings. You can see I'm not tuning these strings up. I don't care about them being in tune yet. I'm just trying to get them tight so that they're not loose. Okay, now that I've got my last string in, I'm all done restringing. And what I need to do now is cut off this excess string. I like to just bend this down here and then cut it as tight as I can to the post. That helps keep that string end that's cut from poking you or getting in the way of anything. Now we've got all the strings back on the guitar. We've brought the tension up slightly and we're ready to tune it. Now before we do that, we're going to need to take out this block in the back, but first I'm going to stretch the strings. It's important when you put a new set of strings on a guitar, they're going to take some time to stretch and get kind of accustomed to the new tension that you're bringing them to at your tuning. So just take your fingers like this across the neck and across the body area, all the playing area of the strings, and give it a few stretches. This will help it stay in tune a little quicker once you bring it up to the tuning. All right, now we're going to tune her up. We'll do this first and make sure that it's staying in tune before we remove the block at the bridge. Keep in mind the strings are settling in and the springs are stretching as well, so it'll take a minute just to get these all tuned up until your bridge is settled in and your strings are staying in tune. All right, we're very close now, so I'm going to remove the block under the bridge so that we can tune it once more and check the overall tuning once we remove that block. Take your arm, put it in your bridge, and just remove this block. Okay, now we'll check the tuning one last time, making sure that we're keeping an eye on the bridge position as well. If your bridge tends to pull up like this, or if it pulls back down like this, once you're done tuning, then you would need to adjust the claw screws on the back, which adjust the spring tension. One thing you also want to check before you lock down the screws on the locking nut is you want to take these fine tuners and you want to adjust them kind of into the center area of their adjustment so that you have adjustment both up in pitch and down in pitch. Once your strings are staying in tune, then it's time to lock down the screws on the locking nut. All right, we're good. Be sure to check that in playing position as well. If I was tuning it in this position and I locked it down, when I picked it up like this, it would be slightly out. So always make sure that you're tuning in playing position. Now I'm going to take my 3mm Allen wrench and I'm going to just lock down these nut clamps. Same thing goes here with the pressure. You just want to take it to snug and then just a little bit past snug. No need to over tighten these. Now I'm going to check again. I may need to fine tune it slightly at this point. You may need to do this a few times just while the strings are settling in. Once you're done with the fine tuning, you've locked the nut, you've locked the strings in at the bridge, and then you should be good to go. Maybe the first times you use your whammy bar, you may need to just double check the tuning once more with the fine tuners, and then you should be good to go. All right, everything's working. We've put a new set of strings on, the bridge is adjusted, and you're ready to go. Thanks for checking out today's video, and we'll see you next time.